What's up, guys? Kyle from thististrouble.com coming at you now from Prague, Czech Republic. And today I've got 5 things that you should know about Prague if you are looking to expat here. So, for those of you not familiar with myself and my work and my website, I just recently came from Kyiv, Ukraine, now living in Prague, Czech Republic, at least for the next few months. And there are a lot of key differences. So, without further ado, here are the 5 things that you should look out for if you want to move to Prague. So the first one is the overall quality of life. Obviously, this is something that everybody wants to know if they're going to consider moving or spending considerable time in a city. And when you compare it to a place like Kyiv, it is quite a bit higher quality of life. There are markets on every corner. If you venture out to the suburbs, you can find some of the really big markets. They're really actually akin to like Walmart or Costco in the States, where you can buy almost everything you could need in a good bulk at a good price. So you have those things that are available. And again, a lot of people think that, it's out of the center, I can't go there. The reality is that it's a 5-minute tram ride, 10 minutes, or just hopping on the metro. In addition to that, you've also got specialty shops, which are cool. You can find an Asian market and find those kind of foods. You can find a Mexican market. I went there yesterday, actually run by a guy from Texas. So unlike places in the further east in Kyiv, you have a lot more options in Prague as to specific things you can buy, as well as having the bigger stores. Not that I advocate going to Walmart or Costco in a lot of cases if you live in the U.S., but you do at least have those options available to you here in Prague. Secondly, the food. Quality of life. I want to say a few more things. Transit is very, very good here. I've got this little Metro card, $27 for a month. You can take it unlimited rides, all trams, buses, the Metro, and it pretty much pays for itself because they're about $1 per ride, give or take. So you really only need to take 27 rides to break even on that. And it's been 9 days since I bought mine, and I've already used 22 of them. So it really does have a very good public transit system, which makes, the quality of life is better than in a lot of places that don't have quick, fast, efficient public transit. I know, if you're new to expatting and you have been in America, you have a car. Let's face it, you probably have a car, you probably drive. You do not need that here. In fact, having a car would be absolutely miserable. I would not want to deal with that under any circumstances. All right, said what I wanted to say about the quality of life. Moving on now. The food here in Prague is very good. Czech food is a bit greasy. It's pretty much meat, potatoes, oil, and that's really actually about it. But it can be very good if you know the right places to find. Obviously, going to, starting Maestro and going to the Old Town Center, you're going to get the same thing. If you go to a restaurant that says traditional Czech food, it's a tourist spot. And it's not traditional Czech food. It's Americanized or Westernized Czech food that can appeal to everybody. And if you see a place that has the menu in 22 different languages, rest assured that you are not exactly getting a authentic Czech experience. And so with that being said, you can find those places that are a lot better, and it just takes a little bit of work, and again, going out of the center. Which if you're expating, you're obviously going to do. You're probably not going to live in Prague 1. Other than that, though, the food is, compared to like a place like Kyiv, there's a higher variety. You can get Asian food. Like I said, you can get Mexican food. There's a lot of good pho, Chinese, sushi restaurants, a lot of good Mexican restaurants, things that aren't available kind of in the further east of Europe. So with that being said, though, there are things that aren't here that were in Kyiv, such as shashlik, and Georgian food is not quite as common here, Turkish food. You can still get all of those, but they're probably not going to be quite as high of quality as you could find in a place like Kyiv. All right, moving on now, the friendliness of people. This is a big part of it. If you're moving abroad, you want to be able to make friends and feel like you're warm and welcome in a country. In Kyiv, that is definitely not the case. People do not speak any English. They don't really want to speak English. They're scared to speak English with you, and so as a result, they can, you live a life where you feel a little not welcome. You feel like an outsider. Whereas in Prague, pretty much everybody speaks English. Even the old ladies at the supermarket will speak English with you a little bit. And they're happy to do so too. They understand that Prague, its primary source of income really is tourism. And so they understand that part of that, involves them being friendly to you, and so that you'll keep coming back, you'll keep recommending it to people. So there's a lot more Western hospitality and tourism. You can just speak English, whereas in Kyiv, I'd often go up to people and just say, "Ty говоришь по-английски," and they would just glare at me. That means, "Do you speak English?" And when you have that kind of situation, it just becomes a grind. Every day is working just to survive and communicate, whereas here, it's, quite a bit friendlier, and it's quite a bit better. As far as the language, that was one of my points, language. I kind of cheated there. Anyways, so like I said, you don't need to speak Czech. You'll be fine with English. Obviously, if you learn a few words, that's appreciated, and we'll get you in with the locals a little more, but it's certainly not necessary. And now, kind of moving on to my final point that you should know if you want to expat or go to Prague. Tourism. Holy cow, there are a lot of them. And once you live here and you've been through it all, you really kind of get tired of seeing them. And it's just part of it. You don't hang out in Prague if you live here. I mean, I have a few times. My gym is actually over there. But you don't want to be hanging out there all the time. It's probably more of a once a week, once a month kind of deal. You wander over there and see the sights. And you do it on the off days where it's not quite as crowded. But almost every day is crowded here. So that's something to keep in mind, that if you are really hoping to escape the West, this is not really a place to do it. At the same time, you do have a very good balance between East and West. You get some of the great amenities of being a Western person, the supermarkets and the friendliness. At the same time, you got to deal with more Western people, obviously. So it's all a trade-off about what you are willing to take in a new city that you expat to. So just know that if you do want to live in Prague, you are going to see a lot of tourists. You're going to hear a lot of English. So if you're the kind of person who wants to get far, far away from that, either go to a different city or live in Prague 9. That would work too. Anyways, guys, Kyle from thististrouble.com here. These were 5 things that you need to know about expatting to Prague, Czech Republic, and hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.